For decades, just one giant decided what color went on India's walls. But that's all changing. A huge corporate battle is shaking up one of the country's most iconic industries, and we're here to break it all down. Welcome to the Great Indian Paint War. So, the stage is set for a massive, massive conflict. We're talking billions of dollars, corporate titans clashing, and a fight for literally every home, every office, every factory in a country that's just growing like crazy. The big question is, who's going to come out on top?
All right, so to really get why this war is kicking off right now, you have to understand the prize. And let me tell you, we're not just talking about cans of paint here. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar opportunity.
Okay, look at these numbers. The sheer scale of this is just mind-blowing. The Indian paint market is already worth nearly $10 billion today in 2024. But here's the kicker. It's projected to explode to over $16 billion by 2030. This isn't just a market, it's a gold rush, plain and simple. Now, every great story of disruption needs a powerful incumbent, right? The king of the castle. And in this story, that king is, without a doubt, Asian Paints. And to get a sense of just how big they are, just look at this number. We're talking a market cap of over 2.7 trillion rupees. This isn't just a big company, it's a corporate behemoth. It's a household name that is basically synonymous with paint all across India.
And here's the thing. They're not some sleeping giant just sitting on their laurels. They've posted a super healthy 23% growth in adjusted profit after tax year over year. This is a well-oiled machine, folks. It consistently delivers strong financial performance, which makes them an incredibly tough defender of their turf.
So yeah, for years, Asian Paints basically owned this space, commanding more than half the entire market. They built this fortress on two key pillars. First, this deep brand trust they've built up over generations, and second, a distribution network so huge it reaches pretty much every corner of the country. For a long, long time, they seemed absolutely untouchable.
But you know how it goes. Every fortress, no matter how strong, eventually faces a challenger powerful enough to shake its foundations. And in 2024, that challenger arrived with a bang.
So, in February 2024, the Aditya Birla Group, one of India's largest conglomerates, mind you, made its grand entrance into the paint world with their brand Birla Opus. Now, this wasn't some little startup trying to make a name for itself. Oh no, this was a giant stepping right into another giant's arena. And they came ready to fight. Look at this figure, an initial investment of 100 billion rupees. That's not just capital, that is a statement of intent. It's a war chest, and it's designed to do one thing: take on the market leader head-on and fight for every single inch of market share. And the impact was immediate. You don't have to take my word for it. This quote from the vice chairman of Asian Paints himself pretty much confirms it. The game changed overnight. The arrival of these new players triggered aggressive pricing, huge discounts. The Quiet Kingdom had suddenly become a battlefield. Okay, so with the battle lines drawn, how did the first phase of this war actually play out? Let's dive into the strategies, the tactics, and the initial casualties. Well, the effect on the reigning champion was immediate, and it was significant. In just one year, Asian Paint's dominant market share fell 7 percentage points. It went from 59% all the way down to 52%. The challenger's attack was clearly hitting its mark. So, how did this happen? Well, their approaches were completely different. It was a real clash of styles. The challenger, Birla Opus, came in hot with these aggressive discounts and really powerful incentives for dealers, trying to win them over. Meanwhile, the incumbent, Asian Paints, responded by doubling down on its greatest strength, trust. They started offering extended warranties and really beefing up their ad campaigns. It was a classic clash of disruption versus reliability. And you know what? According to the outside analysts, the challenger's tactics worked. Birla Opus managed to grab over 3.5% of the market in its very first year. And the report suggests that share came largely at the expense of the market leader, Asian Paints. So the attack was targeted, and it was definitely effective. But you see, this battle isn't just about two companies duking it out. It's actually reshaping the entire industry, and it's revealing some of its deepest vulnerabilities. So let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. So where is this fight actually happening? Well, it's really concentrated in one key area. A massive 75% of the Indian paint market is what they call the decorative segment. That's the paint that goes on the walls of our homes and our offices. This is a battle for the heart of India's living spaces. But here's a twist.
While all these players are busy fighting each other, they all share a common weakness, a really critical vulnerability that affects everyone, from the top dog to the newest challenger. So what is the industry's Achilles heel?
It all comes down to this: a massive and growing dependency on imported raw materials, specifically something called titanium dioxide. It's a white pigment that's the key ingredient for making paint bright and durable. Now get this, not only has the import value of this stuff almost doubled in just 5 years, but the share coming from China has jumped from 44% to a staggering 64%. This reliance creates huge supply chain risks. It kind of suggests that the winner of this war might not just be the best marketer, but maybe the best supply chain manager. So, given all this turmoil, what does the future hold? Well, honestly, it depends on who you ask. The companies themselves, they're trying to be moderately optimistic, hoping for a rebound. But the analysts, they're a lot more cautious. They're pointing to this intense competition and predicting much slower growth. Really, the only thing that seems certain right now is more uncertainty. Look, we're in the middle of a truly historic shift. A market that was stable for decades has been thrown wide open. We have new players aggressively redrawing the map, and the old giants are fighting back fiercely to defend their ground. The war for India's walls has really only just begun, and it leaves us with one big question: who will ultimately get to paint the future of India?